Welcome to our channel Learn English through Bible Tales. Today you will learn new words, improve your listening, comprehension, and pronunciation in English while enjoying a story about the parable of the prodigal son, a unique and meaningful way to learn English and explore its message. The story of the prodigal son. Jesus sat among a crowd of listeners, a diverse gathering of tax collectors, sinners, Pharisees, and scribes. The tension between the self-righteous religious leaders and the humble seekers of truth was palpable. In this setting, Jesus shared a parable to illustrate the boundless mercy of God. "There was a man who had 2 sons," he began. The crowd leaned in, captivated by the opening of the story. The younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the share of the property that is coming to me." The audience murmured. For a son to demand his inheritance while his father was still alive was not only disrespectful, but tantamount to wishing his father dead. Yet the father in Jesus' parable did not rebuke his son. Instead, he divided his property between the 2 sons. "Not many days later," Jesus continued, "the younger son gathered all he had and journeyed to a far country, and there he squandered his property in reckless living." The phrase painted a vivid picture. The younger son had pursued a life of indulgence, wasting the wealth that had been so generously bestowed upon him. "And when he had spent everything," Jesus said, "a severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. The son, destitute and desperate, hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into the fields to feed pigs." For Jesus' Jewish audience, this was a shocking detail. Feeding pigs, unclean animals according to Jewish law, signified the depths of his degradation. He was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. The image was heart-wrenching. The son had fallen so low that he envied the food of the swine. "But when he came to himself," Jesus said, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants.'" The younger son's decision to return home revealed his humility and recognition of his sin. Yet the crowd wondered, how would the father respond? "So he arose and came to his father." Jesus' voice softened as he described the scene. "But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him." The father's reaction defied expectations. It was undignified for a man of his stature to run, yet his love for his son overpowered all societal conventions. The father's actions embodied grace and forgiveness. And the son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But before the son could even finish his rehearsed plea, the father interrupted. The father said to his servants, "Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The celebration began, filled with joy and music, a testament to the father's abundant love. Yet the story did not end there. "Now his older son was in the field," Jesus continued. "And as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened calf, because he has received him back safe and sound.' The older son's response was anger. He refused to join the celebration. His heart harbored resentment, not only toward his brother but also toward his father's perceived unfairness. His father came out and entreated him, Jesus said. But the older son protested. "Look, These many years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat, that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him." The father's response was tender and wise, a reflection of God's perspective on mercy and grace. "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found." With these words, Jesus concluded the parable. The crowd sat in silence, reflecting on its meaning. For the sinners and outcasts, the story was a message of hope. God's love was vast enough to welcome even the most broken and repentant heart. For the Pharisees and scribes, it was a challenge to recognize their own self-righteousness and embrace the joy of reconciliation. Through this story, Jesus revealed the heart of God, a father who longs for his children to return, whether they have strayed far or remained close but unyielding in spirit. The prodigal son and his elder brother represented humanity in its entirety, and the father represented God's boundless love. As Jesus once said elsewhere, "There will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance." Luke 15:7. This parable was an eternal reminder of that truth.
Gratitude and farewell. Thank you for watching. We hope this story inspired you and helped improve your English. In this video, you learned new words, practiced listening, and improved your pronunciation. Remember, practice makes perfect. Subscribe to learn English through Bible Tales and turn on notifications to stay updated. Leave a comment with the words or phrases you found most helpful. See you in the next video as we explore more Bible stories and learn English together. Blessings to you and your loved ones.